Righto guys, it's been a little while since I've done a little bit of an update on this Vickers Easy Rider here. So this here is one of the projects that I'm working on. Now, what I did was I basically cut the original forward controls and everything out of this boat and converted it to a center console. Started converting it to a center console anyway, as you can see there. Now what I want to do with this particular boat here is turn it into, let's call it a barra boat, a crabbing boat, the sort of estuary kind of boat, so that, you know, I'm not going to get too fussy about spending heaps and heaps of time on it, getting it looking pretty and everything else. I've still got to do the underside of the boat, get that finished off. I've got one of the seats in there already. I've got some seat mounts in. As you can see here, that seat mount is on. Another seat mount over there. We've got a mount here for an electric motor. I've reinforced the bow as well to make sure that I can put a cleat and everything on there for my anchor. A little bit of an anchor well there. And over the back here, I've got the flooring that I'm going to be installing. So the flooring, what I want to do with this flooring is basically, it's an EVA foam, and what I'm going to do, the reason that I chose this colour was simply because I figured that nobody's going to notice the dirt as much on it because of the colours in it. So I reckon that's pretty cool. Then I've made these boxes here in the back of the boat. I'm going to put these lids in there, so that I can basically put some storage in there, some batteries in the other side maybe. There's console conduits coming up out of the console and everything else. This boat has sort of taken a second place to the bigger boat. We put the big boat in the water the other day with the idea, what we need to do is find out where the new water line is, because when you convert something that was a stern drive to outboards, it changes the way the boat is going to sit in the water and everything else. Luckily enough, I engaged a naval architect at the start of it, and he got it pretty well spot on. So we can confirm that water line is absolutely perfect. It's absolutely where it's supposed to be, and there's no problems with that. I'll probably do a video about that a little bit later on, but this is the Vickers Easy Rider for now anyway, guys. These things take time, eh? Oh yeah, we've got some non-slip here. Started doing some rod holders. Got to fix them up. Time is not my friend at the moment. That big boat has taken a long time. Yeah, the other projects that I've got on the go as well. We got a little, what do you call these? They're like a casting post thing, goes up there. Got to clean up all of this flowcate. Well, the EVA foam's going down on top of that anyway, so that's not too bad. I'm not gonna get carried away with this thing, because this thing's going to be bouncing around inside the mangroves and around the creeks and up the rivers, chasing barramundi and everything else. It's going to be going out to the reefs behind the other boat. So the idea is, you know, honestly, I'm not going to get too fussy with how this thing looks at the end of the day. It's got to be able to perform, and that's it. That's the main criteria. So the casting deck up here, it gives me quite a bit of room. Pretty happy with this. I'm going to stand up here and cast away when I'm ready. And as we move down towards the back of the boat, our storage. I put some knees in there. A bit more reinforcement for the outboard motor when it goes in. I've got a fair bit of cleaning up to do. I've used, now on the other boat, you might realise that I used fumed silica, and where I needed the real structure, I've chopped strand mat and added that to the fumed silica to make it super strong. In this particular boat, I'm not that worried, and all I've used is talc. So for what is just a small 4.5 metre 15-foot boat, it's going to be more than strong enough. I think because this boat's been sitting here for so long as well, there's a lot of dirt that's sort of gathered in it. So I'm going to have to go through and sand all of that back, get all of that right, tidy it all up, sand back, see where I've got some, let's call it peanut butter, bog, some of the glue there. I've got to tidy that up, fix that up. Where else have we got? That's pretty much all over. You can see the dirt that just sort of gathers up here on this because I haven't finished it off. Got to fix that up. These lines, where my lines to make sure that I got that post mount centered correctly. The hatch itself works quite well. There's quite a bit of storage under there. I'm happy with that. Overall, I think it's going to do exactly what I need it to do. It's going to be a great little boat. Alright, so the paint that I used on here too was the primer. The boat's still a bit wet, I gave it a bit of hose off. The primer was a 2-pack epoxy primer, and then I've used a Jotun 2-pack polyurethane paint over the top of that. Now the underside, when I get the big boat into the shed, I'll probably cart this boat over there as well and basically paint the underside of it, so that'll happen soon. I think overall the paint job's come up reasonably well for what was a roller job. I think it's not too bad for a roller job. It wasn't rolled and tipped, it was just rolled, and then I basically went over it with some sandpaper, started with 120, went to 240, 400, and I finished off at 1200 to get that shine. You can hopefully see a bit of a shine up the front there. There's still some orange peel, but like I said before, I'm not worried about that. I won't accept that on the big boat, definitely won't accept that on the big boat, so we'll have to make sure that that's absolutely perfect. Well, there you go guys, that's it, update done. Still a lot to do.